Now we've got the wheel off, we're going to take the half shaft out, which is just these 8 bolts here. Now I've got the 8 bolts out the half shaft. I'm going to pull the half shaft out. A little bit of oil might come with it, but usually it's nothing to be concerned about. Should pull straight out. I'll get a cloth to put it on the ground. It's not going to damage it then. Half shaft looks like. Right. Now we've got the interesting bit. This nut right here, that's where you're going to struggle, where you need a special tool to do it, and I'll show you that tool right now. This is the special tool to go inside here, and as so, slots in there perfectly, and that's going to undo that. But first you have to make sure you knock out this nodule here, because that's what keeps it from coming undone. This nut is done up very tight, so I've got a long bar on it. It's done to 1200 Newton meters. So that actually took 2 of us to do that job, and what you'll see here is this now comes off, and then you've got a washer. This is not supposed to be the challenging bit, honestly. There we go. So that comes off. Now we're left with these 8 bolts to undo. The stud plate will come off, and then we're left with the brake discs. You can give this a tap with a copper hammer on the back, and that should free it away from the disc, and it should just pull straight off. It can be a bit difficult, but you just got to use a bit of muscle. Well, that came really easily. I was quite surprised there. So what have we got? We've got the bearing, this O-ring here, which admittedly doesn't look very clever. Yeah, happy with that. Now we can take the disc brake pads out. They're pretty simple. You just undo this 17mm bolt, and then take the retainer bar out, and the pads will just fall straight out. A lot of these bolts have been Loctited in, so something to note when I'm putting them back together. I still have got the air brakes on, so I'm going to release the air brakes now. I've undone all the tight bolts. I've got chocks under the front wheels already. What I'm going to do to make, I've got to do it anyway, I'm going to take this air brake actuator off. I believe that's what it's called, with these 2 nuts here. They can be rusty, so I'm going to spray them with a bit of air, WD-40. And if you're thinking about it, I was concerned when I first did this job that if I took that off and there was air in the system, it was all going to blow air out or be a problem. It's not. So you can take this off without any concern. Now what we've got, I've taken off the actuator, and what we can get to here is this rubber grommet where we pop it off, and it's the brake adjuster, so we can slacken off the disc pads with that. It's a little 10mm. You can't do it with this actuator on. I tried it already. So if I do that and wrong way. Now that is manually slacking those disc brakes off. You can actually see, you can see the disc brakes moving. Hang on. You see that? I'm going to slacken them off as much as I can because I'm putting on the new disc pads. Now you see these disc pads are super loose. Just coming straight out. So there's two disc pads, and then there's a position thingy that will go back in with the new pads. Next job, to get the brake caliper off, I've got to undo 6 bolts, 3 on the top, you see in there, and 3 on the bottom, 24 mils. They're not too bad. Just takes a long bar. I've just taken the brake caliper off, and now the brake disc will just fall off like this. So that's the old one. It's not in actually that bad condition. Well, what they might not tell you is that you've got this insert here, which is for the ABS sensor. That's going to be rusted in, so you've got to order a new one of those, as well as the discs and pads. Right, next job. Put the new brake disc on. Then you can put the whatever that other plate is called, you can put that back on with the bearing, bolt them together. Worry about the brake caliper later. I almost forgot, after I said don't forget this ABS sensor. Comes out the bag like this. That's what it looks like. And I'm just going to put that in nice and evenly. And then use a rubber hammer and hammer it in. I've hammered that in as far as it'll go now. So that's good to go. It sits loosely on there for now until it's bolted up. I've put copper snot on the shaft, and now I'm going to push it up on. Hopefully it'll go straight forward. So that's jammed, which I was expecting. So I'm going to use the rubber hammer and just tap it on. That bearing housing has been pushed on now to the shaft. It's up to the disc. So what I'm going to do now is put these long bolts into position. I am going to not Loctite them, and should all bolt up pretty straight and easy now. We've put the brake pads in now, and to do that you've got to make sure this 10mm is undone all the way. Once you've put the brake pads in and the retainer bar, you then need to tighten up this 10mm to tighten up the brake pads, set the tension, or set the brakes. So you tighten it right up as much as you can, and then you slacken it off one click. So you might be able to hear this. See that? And that's it. That's done then. I've done all the bolts up now. I've just hammered this in here. So there's a case of half the shaft back in, 8 bolts for that, and the wheels back on. So that concludes my demonstration of how to do the brakes on a lorry. Good luck.